Sabira, welcome back again to Wellness with Kala. Today another great topic, Namaste. First of all, Namaste to you.
Namaste to you too, and thank you for having me back. An interesting topic for sure.
Yes. So the word Namaste, to use or not to use?
Good question, and it's interesting that over the couple of years, it is still a very strong subject. So let's go down and start from the beginning. Namaste or Namaskar. Namaskar is the more, I would say, it's more respectful, and it is less, it's a more formal way of saying it. Now, Namaskar or Namaste is one of the 6 types of pranams. So we have the Ashtanga pranam, we have the Shashtanga, Panchanga, and then it carries on. But for this conversation, we're going to use the word Namaste. It's a versatile gesture, and it conveys different emotions and intentions. Interesting thing that it is found in the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, and Atharva Veda.
Yes.
It's also found in the Upanishads and in the Mahabharata.
Okay. So there are people who talk of Namaste as just a very frivolous phrase, as in saying hello. Would you say Namaste is much more deeper than the word hello itself?
It is. It is much more than a greeting, and we also have to take into consideration that when we use the term and say it's just for hello, we're talking about a very small percentage of the Indian population of the strata that really uses Namaste as only a hello.
Yeah.
Majority of the Indian population, you need to really go down deep into, let's say, small towns, small villages. You need to go, just look into the household help we have in India. They do not use it just as a hello. They even use it as a goodbye. They use it as a sign of respect. They use it as a sign of humility. And depending on the context and the intention, it will reflect just that.
Yeah. So I'd just like to butt in there to just explain to our listeners what the word Namaste actually means.
Yeah.
So Namaste is actually 2 parts, isn't it? Namas and Te.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So derived from Sanskrit, Nama or Namas means bow, and Te means to you.
Yeah.
So I bow to you. And I bow to the divine within you, because the divine comes from the Hindu philosophy Brahman, the Atman. So when we bow to the other person, or when I bow to you, I'm actually bowing to the Atman within you.
So it's no way a demeaning or inferior sort of greeting. You know, when you say I bow to you, it's no way demeaning. It's no way saying you're superior and I'm inferior or anything in that context.
It is acknowledging the inner consciousness between yourself and myself.
Yeah.
So when we use Namaste in our traditional cultural gesture, it also holds a deep spiritual meaning, because look at our Hindu philosophy. Now, when you bring the palms just together, this is Anjali Mudra. There's no vocal to it, it's just the mudra, and you'll find this mudra also in our Natya Shastra, in our classical dancing. And so it is versatile, and it is used in many ways, and I'll give you a couple of examples. Now, how do we use Namaste within context? As a spiritual beginning and an end. Now, if you look at our religious ceremonies, the havans that we have, our Pandits begin with Namaste and a mantra, and they end with a Namaste and a mantra. Secondly, when you see the Panditji off, you never say bye-bye.
Yeah.
You do this, you say Namaste, right? So there becomes this, it signifies respect. Then it can be a greeting, and it can also be a goodbye, depending on the kind of friendship you have with your friends.
Yeah.
When we greet our elders, now India has a lot of joint family. Within the joint family, again, you will use pranam or you will use namaste, whether you greet or you are leaving the house. Most young people will do the pranam where one hand is on the chest and the other one you bow down to touch the feet. Again, it is a form of pranam. It's a form of acknowledging the elder and paying respect. When words fail us, when we cannot express our gratitude, then we use also Namaste. So the intention behind that is that I am accepting and very appreciative of whether it's a compliment or a gift.
Talking or talking over you, you just say namaste. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Namaste. Will you be quiet now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of just sort of a gesture rather than verbally saying, can you be quiet?
Right. And sometimes people will also say it in anger, right? Namaste, Baba.
Namaste, Baba. Yes.
Right? I'm done. That's it. So, besides these spiritual meanings or the intention, it also has a scientific. They have scientific benefits, right? You're bringing the left and the right hemisphere of the brain together. This is a calming effect. Depending on where and how you place the position, the hand, the thumb against the sternum, the fingers pointing up, there's also a different name to that mudra, right? So if I bring it up to here, it's Kailash Mudra. If I bring it further up, it's a different mudra. So depending on where you place the hand, what is your intention behind it, and what is the context, it will reflect that. So when
it brings the and the left hemispheres of the brain together,
yes.
It signifies basically your logical side and your creative side of the brain coming together. So there's a lot of inner meaning into just joining your hands.
Right.
And our forefathers centuries and millions of centuries ago, and it has some meaning, deeper meaning that we shouldn't take it so lightly.
Right. And I think what we're seeing right now when many are saying it's just a hello, again, it's coming from a very small percentage. The larger percentage in India use Namaste on a regular basis. Look at the greeting when in Air India. It's a greeting and it's a goodbye. Our anchors, it's a greeting and a goodbye. Nowadays, especially since COVID, many are using the hand gesture of a way, rather than shaking hands, right?
We were so scared to touch another person.
Exactly. Yeah.
Namaste came to be where you're still respecting, you're still greeting the person, but there's no physical contact.
Right. So it definitely is much more. And when we talk about it in a yoga class, it's again, you're beginning and centering everybody. And when the session is over, you're now ending and centering everybody.
Yes.
So that is quite poignant in its own.
And the fact that we say this in the Anjali Mudra is closer to the heart, the heart chakra, the Anahata chakra.
Yeah.
So which is more on promoting love and compassion, openness. I'm ready to open my heart to you, to listen to what you have to say.
Right.
It's not a closed gesture. It's like, yes, I'm ready for this new experience, ready to meet you.
Again, where and why are we hearing Namaste just as a hello? I would say, depending on our family and our upbringing, some of us maybe just used it as a hello and never used it as a goodbye. But again, I always come back to the broader sense. You have to really take into consideration what people in their own culture in India are using it and how often it is used. It's used in grocery shopping when you go to the store. It's used in greeting, in meeting, in asking. Sometimes I've seen people when you want someone to do something for you, go, please, can you do it? So again, that meaning behind it will reflect exactly that. So I personally think whether you begin or end with Namaste, know why you're doing it. What is the context behind it?
And also learn about the deeper meaning of the word Namaste itself. It sort of recognizes the divinity that we have within each of us.
Yes.
We might be superficially one more better looking than the other, whatever it is, but deep inside we're all the same soul connected to the same higher power.
Yeah.
So you're sort of recognizing to say that I bow to the divinity within you, and acknowledging that divinity.
We are starting a spiritual practice, right? So in Hindu philosophy, when you begin something, it's always in Anjali Mudra, there is a mantra. When you end also, it's a nice way of closing your practice and bringing that centering down to everybody.
Yeah.
So
and for me, for yoga class, it is sort of saying, well, I may be the teacher and you may be learning something from me, but you've given me so much in terms of me being able to just share my knowledge with you, and we're all practicing together. So here it is, no sense of I am superior, you're inferior. I bow to the divinity within you, and you bow to the divinity that you see within me.
Absolutely. There is no hierarchy. There is no sense of I am better than you or you. Even in our mantras, when we begin the mantra Sahana Bhavatu, also you'll notice that mantra is about exchange of wisdom, exchange of experience between you and I, and may the teachings be shared openly and honestly. So we have to go back a little bit. We have to understand the culture and the tradition and why it was used and how many ways it can be used before boiling it down to just one word, which is hello. There are many ways you can close your practice. You can use Hari Om Tat Sat at the end of the class. You can say a Gayatri mantra. You can say Om. There are many ways. But I think it's important that we really stress the point that it is not just hello.
Hello, exactly, yes. Let's fight for that. Namaste.
Absolutely.